All right, man. Retro Jersey in the building. So normally I ask a little background question, but I just feel like for you, man, just give me a verse or something, bro. Give me something. I feel like you could spit. What can you do?
I'm such a player, baby. Never run away from pressure, yeah, send me, baby. It's just a southern thing. We rock fronts and smoke blunts, that's how we swing. You disrespect, we got choppers that make your mama sing. I'm living good, stunting big, that's why I'm flexing. In that charge, I'm swerving, crossing that intersection. I rep that Ville all the way up across that river. I'm drinking bitch till I feel good, fucked up my liver. I like a country bitch that keep it real and sentimental. Everything I got, I'm gonna keep it right there, man.
God damn, hold on.
I don't want to get too much to y'all, man.
Hey, what's up, Guan? Bonjour, Famille. Bump Jonas, and I'm here with
the one and only Retro Jersey, man.
Woo! We about to have a sit down and Syke, y'all. Let's get started.
Yes,
so look, man. God, yeah, I'm still stuck off the verse, which is crazy. I appreciate you. I thank you for coming down here.
Appreciate you having me,
man. You know, right off the bat, I normally wait a little bit to give people their flowers, but I want to give you your flowers now, and it might be early, because we are talking to a rookie. You know what I mean? And I mean that respectfully. But the way you've come out, the way you've positioned yourself, the way you just did that ain't no rookie shit. So I want to give you your flowers for moving professionally, moving like you're treating yourself like a veteran and you're giving this situation, a certain sense of intention that it requires. So it's very appreciated. And of course, I have to say I thank you because your first project, your debut project, Nostalgic.
Yes, sir.
Get that shit right. We're going to edit that. Nostalgic is out now. And Retro Jersey made sure to bring himself through here for that promo run. That's what's up, man. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. But let's get to the meat and potatoes, man, like the cliche part of this stuff, right? Yeah. This is probably the only cliche question I'm going to ask you. And as y'all notice, I don't got my notepad, so we're going to freestyle this a little bit. But who is Retro Jersey? What do you do, and why?
Well, Retro Jersey is a young cat, man, looking to put his music out into the world and try to bring a balance to this hip hop game that's kind of oversaturated right now. But I'm very humble, laid back, but cool and confident at the same time. I just want people that just love music, just want to listen to my music and just going from there. But
fuck with that. Okay, so now why music though? Like why? Actually, let's be specific. Not just why music, but why rap music? Why hip hop?
Well, hip hop is kind of my first love was really gospel music and R&B music because I grew up in the church. And,
okay.
My family is very musically inclined. My mom, my sisters, they sing and stuff like that.
So he a legacy. Yeah, okay.
So I grew up listening to a lot of old school R&B, soul music, Kim, Erykah Badu, D'Angelo, but just the cadence of drums, I could hold a tone, but I couldn't. So I went into, I was always writing at a young age, like with poetry and stuff like that. That what got into my lane with introduced to hip hop when I was the Slum Village, Mobb Deep, and
And so then you're like, oh wait, I want it because it sounds like you already had the bug because you're in a family that's musical, that was expressive, that was creative. So it's like, okay, how you mentioned you couldn't hold the notes, so it's like, okay, how do I do this? And then all of a sudden, the words are there, and then hip hop and rap.
Yeah.
Okay, you mentioned Mobb Deep. I find that interesting because Are you originally from KC?
No, I'm originally from Alabama, Huntsville, Alabama.
What?
Yeah, so I moved up here.
Okay, hold on. There's something particular that I noticed that I was gonna mention. Like you got a fly style.
Appreciate
But
that.
now you mentioned Alabama, and the style makes sense because polo and that polo style, and all right. But and I know I cut you off, but I wanna the Alabama part is interesting even more so because you mentioned Mobb Deep. So how does a Southern raised church boy from a musical family find Mobb Deep?
Well, really, it's just me having a wide range of catalog.
Okay.
I always listen to I listen to a lot of genres. Like I listen to country music, I listen to blues, I listen to alternative music, man.
Let's
like
go.
so I just came across like rappers like Mobb Deep and Jay Electronica because I never been to more on like the slower range of
Okay.
the southern rap, like typically like Outkast,
Right.
like Big Crit and all of them. Even though I'm fans of them, don't get me wrong, they tough, but I always just been into more northern rap, like
Okay.
Jay Z,
A little bit
Nas,
faster in terms of the speed and the cadence.
lyrical, you know.
So, and this is probably an easy question. First of all, how did you discover your talents? You're in a musical family, so it's probably very easy to hit upon, like, oh, I can do this or that, right? There's things that are already like sort of encouraging you to be creative. But when did you realize, like, yo, I'm nice with these words? And then, two, once you figure out, like, yo, I'm good with this, who do you start to pay attention to as you figure out your style and your approach to writing and rapping?
Really, my introduction to music, I really didn't like knowing I'm really good is shout out to my hometown homie Ken and Jamal, you know, and they also do music as well. But before I was doing music, I used to just kick it with them and watch them cook up and do stuff together. And they like, man, you need to go ahead, write a 16, man. Like, let me hear what you got. And it just came out. They was looking at me like, oh yeah, you got to do this seriously. And ever since then, I was just motivated and constantly just trying to, you know, get better with my penmanship. And the next thing after the next happened, and it built into what it is now.
So here we are.
Yeah, here we are.
So who were some artists though that you, let's say, emulated or paid attention to as you are starting to write?
Well, I like I gotta kindly like to Wale, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar. You know, Jay Electronica, you know.
Okay. You mentioned him before too. Okay.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you, we talked a little bit about this off camera. The way that nostalgic sounds, and of course now that I say that, it hits. Of course it sounds like a throwback because the project is called Nostalgic. Duh. I should sprinkle, but I feel like I just completely, we gonna sprinkle anyway because that deserved it. But I find it very interesting that, okay, obviously there's some intentionality right there. You want it to sound nostalgic, but the beats and also the mixing, the sound is not just, I mean, there's two different parts, right? There's the part of the beat has an old school sound, but then also there's elements of what I'm hearing and how it sounds that has a throwback vibe. So, one, how did you accomplish that across multiple producers?
Well, really, it's just my taste of music of where my goal, like the whole album, Nostalgic, I wanted to be in an old school format, but in more in a modern time.
Yes.
Like, so, because I always favored the old ways, like how it used to be, because that's my name, Retro Jersey. You know, everything about me is nostalgic. I like old things, man. Like, you know, so that was the goal, is just trying to bring that balance back into hip hop. I feel like it's a breath of fresh air if somebody could do it the original way, you know.
And you're doing it, bro. You're doing it. Actually, I mean, first of all, the project itself is fire. I think it's about 14 tracks.
12.
12 tracks, okay. And the 12 tracks flow very quickly in a lot of ways, right? It's not like okay, so back in the day, if we had 15 tracks, we might be listening for 45 or so, right? It was a kind of a long haul, but we enjoyed that long haul. Yours isn't as much of a long haul. We're still getting a lot of tracks. I noticed you got some skits in there. I like that. I like that. But I also like the fact that they're not quick listens, but they're not like bathroom break songs. You know what I mean? So there's a couple guys out there that prefer to make songs under a minute or under 2 minutes, right? And you don't have nothing like that. But at the same time, the vibe that you've created, I can just like, I mean, y'all already know I smoke to anything, but I can really just chill and smoke and vibe to your shit, bro. I love it.
Appreciate that, man.
But what I'm curious about is why? Like, what makes you nostalgic? Because you barely 22, 23?
I'm 24.
All right.
Yeah, y'all
my bad.
still young though.
But,
I'm still young.
A little
They're a little behind the ears, but we getting there.
But like, what draws you to nostalgia?
Really, just how I was raised. You know, no offense, I love y'all, my parents, my mom and dad, but they're old, man. They up there in the age, like
Got you.
60s range. But I appreciate everything about it because it taught me something what is missing. I feel
Yeah.
like in my generation, a time of like respecting the grind, the old ways, because the old format, it never failed. You know, people like got to sprinkle salt.
Well,
but like,
hey man, man, your parents really gamed you up because you over here dropping some gems, man.
yeah, man. But that's just who I am. You know, I'm led spiritually. You know,
Okay.
I'm not looking for all the glitz and glamour or anything with it. I just do whatever the wind blows me. You know, I plan on making music however long it is. If it's 3 years, 4 years from now, and I go into another field, whatever I'm led by. But yeah, I just want to do things the right way, in the original way, authentic. Keep it authentic.
And I think that's the key, is that you are authentic and your sound comes off authentic. Like, there are some folks that are, as much as there are folks that are trying to sound like the new wave, there's a lot of folks that are trying to purposely sound like the old wave. And sometimes it don't hit either way. I mean, you are good at what you're doing, though. So I hope you're doing this longer than 3 years. But I feel, hey, man, go, you know what I'm saying? Go wherever spirit takes you, right? Two-parter question along the same vibes. First of all, do you recall the first song you ever recorded?
Yes, I remember it was called "Right Off the Rhine." It was my first song. My homie Jamal.
This nigga was rapping about watermelon. I'm playing.
But I don't know. You know what's crazy? When I go back and listen to that song, it just give me motivation because where I came from. Because that was the most worst song I ever made.
You think so?
Like, yes, it was terrible.
But you put it out.
No, I didn't put it. It was that bad. But it was my first song though. I remember that was motivating. I'm listening. I'm like, yeah, this ain't it. But it's something I could start off of and it made me just get better.
All right, now the other part to that is, what was the first song that you recorded for Nostalgic?
The first song I recorded.
And did it make it? Did it? Because I assume you had a bunch of songs that you recorded and not all of them make the cut, right?
Oh well, no, it didn't make the cut. And my first song was "Lines," what I got as a single out. And you could check it out. But yeah, it didn't make my album because it just didn't feel
part of that. But it still got out though.
Most definitely.
Okay. So Lines, which is out now, I assume on all platforms.
All platforms.
Y'all heard it. There's your Easter egg. Go find Lines, and then tap in to Nostalgic, because it didn't make it to Nostalgic. But
definitely,
I wonder if it could have made it. He says it didn't because it didn't fit the vibe.
Let me get y'all opinion.
You know what I'm saying? Let's get some comments on that, man. So, talk to me a little bit about. I like to get into the creative process of things, and we have a question called the chicken or the egg, and when it comes to Nostalgic, what happened first? Like, was it the beats? Did you get a beat pack? Or did you have some lyrics, some song concepts in mind already, and you started crafting around that? Like, what sparked the project?
Mainly, the first step was the beat. Okay. So I have to put on a beat, and when I listen to it and I get the vibe in my mind of how I want to make that song, I tap in and to myself, and that's where I go with it. But the beat comes first. But I have a weird creative process. This might sound crazy saying this now because this is the first time I ever said this. But what I do, I go into my refrigerator and I double cup sweet tea to the brim, and I take it to the bathroom. Okay. And I sit on the toilet while drinking sweet tea and create every song I made. I be in there at the bathroom for 2 hours. That's weird.
Nah, I mean,
that's
you know, but it's not. What makes it weird? What makes it weird is the sweet tea in the bathroom.
That's the only way I can make.
Like, I know I've written a lot of rhymes on the toilet. I know I've written a lot of like letters, and I've written a lot of stuff on the shitter. So that's not crazy. And a lot of us have done it at work. Like, y'all not gonna sit here and tell me y'all didn't write some of your best shit at work taking a shit. I'm sorry.
But that's the crazy. I can't make every song I had, everything on the album. It was in the bathroom. I can't create anything else.
There's so many jokes, right? I'm not touching that, bro. There's some bars on that too. That's crazy, man. That's hard though. I love that. Because one thing I love about it is because it's not crazy, it's not weird, it's your process. And I love the idea of people having a process that helps them get comfy and ready to create. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
A lot of times we're fighting against our own OCDs and things that we're like, oh, that's weird, I don't want to do that. Man, lean into that shit. Especially if you drinking sweet tea and writing on the toilet, I'm being funny. Come on, he's not actually like going to a restaurant while he's doing it. You know what I mean? He's just comfy.
Most
But
definitely.
if that's what it takes for you to come out with nostalgic, go ahead. Because the shit came out funky. You know what I mean?
No pun intended.
No, that bar was intended. That was intended. I did that on purpose. I did that on purpose. But, okay, I want to ask, though, this is the part that we call studio feng shui. So, you have 14 tracks on there.
12.
12. I keep saying 14. Thank you. There's 12 tracks on there. A range of producers. It's being mixed. Take us through a little bit of like the layout, the environment. What are some things that, have to be part of that studio session, and what are some things that cannot be part of that studio session?
Well, I've never been the type to. I see most of my friends that does music as well. They're good at being in the studio with 10 people in the studio. Plus, I can't really do that. That's not me. I have to be very, very like nomadic in my studio sessions. Like
So
it's
it's
me,
just you and an engineer.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it. Now I'm not big on going during the night times. Like I go early in the morning.
Really?
And yeah. So.
Oh shit.
So I'm very, very
You a
like
blue collar MC. Nah,
if you
bro.
want to say, but
You on some Eminem? Hey, Eminem goes in at 9 and clocks out at 5. Like, hey man.
yeah, I'm very, very precise on how I want things, and I have to I need that focus.
Okay.
I can't focus when it's a lot of people around. I get anxiety when I'm in high crowds, but I could deal deal with crowds. I'm a pretty confident. I can carry a conversation, but over time, like time builder, I'm
Start
just
to
ready.
wear you down. You're like, all right, man.
Yes, sir.
Now, I got the chance to interview you my first time at Sammy Sheets and Friends. Shout out to Sammy Sheets and Friends. Shout out to the Mini Bar. You were one of my first early guests at the Stoop. Actually, Plex was really. He was one of the first one. You came through, and what stood out to me was I was actually interviewing someone else before you were on stage, and I had to like overly focus on the interview because your vocals were coming through so strong. And the way you have this tremendous stage presence is the way I would put it. And you have a very strong projecting voice. My question for you is, first of all, do you know what stage presence is? What does stage presence mean to you?
Stage presence to me is like commanding the room. Like I was listening to your podcast where you were talking about like the difference of an MC and a rapper. An MC controls the room, the environment, everything, like they're a master of ceremonies, you know. So that's my goal, is try to become an MC, because I'm a huge fan of hip hop first before anything. But yeah, that's what I think stage presence is commanding the room and having the crowd following you and feeling your music. So that's what stage presence to me.
So the other part of that I want to ask is, how do you think if someone, let's say someone doesn't have the definition of stage presence, like they don't necessarily know what that means, right? How does someone go about gaining an understanding of it? How does someone go about figuring out how to work it and control the crowd?
Well, I feel like it got to go through experience. Like, you're not going to know what it is until you do it yourself fully. Like, you're not going to really know if a beer, you could see a beer, but a child wouldn't know the beer, the symptoms that come behind it. They don't pick it up and drink it. They just see. So it goes through the experience, Or you could just go on a Webster dictionary and look up what stage presence mean. If you, in this time we live in now, we got internet.
He got y'all.
But
he said dumb babies. No, I'm playing.
But most definitely, you just have to go through the experience of it and feel it to actually understand what it is.
So I asked that because I kind of wanted to set you up and ask you what an MC is. But then you kind of went into a different tangent. I'm like, well, no, hold on. And you said, like, you want to be an MC. I can tell you from my perspective, you are. You're already there. Maybe you got to get some more hours on the 10,000 hours. You know, you got to.
Most definitely.
From the energy I get on the outside of things, you're already there. You project, you push, you do what you're supposed to do, you command the crowd. The fact that you know what stage presence is and you have that understanding, it's already there. And the fact that you are like, you have to get the experience. Now, I mean, that's an easy answer and it's the true answer, but it's also like, no, this guy has the understanding that you have to be in the moment and you have to experience what's going on. So you already know that that is the key element of everything that we do, in the sense of we provide an experience. We revel in the experience. So kudos to you, man, and definitely, yeah, you're an MC. You should consider yourself one and just start owning it and getting better at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't let nobody label you with that. You take the label and snatch that shit, you know?
Facts.
If not, fuck it, I crown you. You know, you got it, bro. You know what I'm saying? I dub thee. Nah, I'm playing. I dub thee MC. Nah.
Appreciate that.
What was the most difficult song for you to write on this project? Whether it be emotions or just like, I am not feeling the structure. You know what I mean?
The most difficult song I would say on Nostalgic for me to write would be Patience.
Okay.
And that was one of the most vulnerable songs I could make, that's very, very authentic of my lifestyle, what I was going in. I'll let y'all have to go and listen to it and get y'all take on it, but it was very in tune of that time when I wrote that at that moment that inspired me to write that. So yeah, that was very difficult because it took me 3 months to craft that up. So
okay, now in this day and age, 3 months is like forever. So how did you keep from that? So then Patience was something you wanted to tell, like you wanted to get that story out, get that message out, because
most definitely,
most folks are not gonna spend that much time on a song.
Yeah, so I'm big on like making sure quality over just putting something out. And most of every song I do, it takes me like months. I break it down, but Patience was the longest time though.
Okay.
Usually I could get a song done. I get a song done in an hour. Really, it's according on the mood, the time.
How you feeling? What's going on?
But I don't force anything out. So if I'm working on something, I'm like, okay, I have to put it down for a sec and come back inspired to get back to it. Because if I'm not moved to do it, it's not going to happen.
Are you a Virgo?
No, I'm actually a Leo.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm a Leo.
You know,
Yeah.
I feel like they'd be at the same picnic sometimes. I don't know. You know.
But my moon, so I'm a Gemini. That's my moon. So yeah, I'm kind of so he just
trouble.
But
that's why he came in with the Timbs and the hat sideways. Y'all see that? Y'all see it.
Yes, sir.
All right, so a few more questions, man. I really appreciate your time, bro. You're really good at this, bro. You're flowing with it would almost seem like you have media training. I know I say that a lot, but you flowing.
Appreciate that, man.
I want to ask though, how do I put this? We're gonna go with this one. We're gonna call this is the elevator pitch.
Okay.
We'll call this the elevator pitch. And it may be a little bit difficult for you because this is basically your first project, right?
First project.
You have anything else out there?
Nope.
No Lucy's besides Lines, right?
Yeah, I have 2 singles and I have a couple covers and stuff on my YouTube.
Covers? What are you covering?
Well, remixes of different instrumentals and stuff I just freestyle over.
Okay.
You know, just working on my penmanship I just practice on. I just throw out there to the algorithm and just
we're gonna come back to that. But actually we're gonna keep with that because I lost my thread, y'all. It don't happen much, but I did. But the covers part, I find that interesting because most people would call it a remix, right? Mm-hmm. And I think I asked someone this before, and it's something that I've been wondering for a while now, is why don't we call them covers? In a sense, well, I guess I kind of answered the question, right? Because you can't necessarily cover a hip-hop song, right? Because if you do, then you're basically, like, biting. Like, how does that work, right?
Well, yeah, it was.
Are you
I call it
forced
a
to
cover
remix
or a
it?
remix. I call it a remix, but it's kind of like a cover because like I take like the instrumental I'm using off back right there. You have to stay in the pocket of that, so in that lane. So
Right.
it's kind of basically like a cover, but yeah, it's like a cover / remix. I wouldn't
But
just
you
say
flip
cover.
it.
Like I'm just flipping into my own story, my own words, but I'm
Okay.
keeping that same cadence. Like you could go and look at the covers I have on there, and you know it's in that same cadence if you go and look at the instrumental, but it's not. I'm not saying bar for bar. That's
But
exactly that.
but
Yeah.
that's my point though,
Yeah,
right?
okay, yeah.
Because and the reason I get there is because if you look at any other genre, and you know this because you like a lot of genres, it is very okay. It is acceptable. It's actually encouraged to cover other songs.
Most
People
definitely.
people like, you know, how I'm gonna pick on Megan Trainor or somebody, but like they got discovered
Yeah.
by performing Dolly Parton's song, right?
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't work in hip hop though. It's not like you could all of a sudden get known for being able to uniquely spit a DMX or a Nas song. It would be like, nah, he's a biter.
Mm-hmm.
So you almost have to remix it, right? But I like the fact that you said cover. No, I got my question though. This is my question that I had.
Okay.
Freestyles. I would like you to define what a freestyle is.
To me, a freestyle is something that is created by you off. That's the solely you. Like a freestyle could be fresh off the dome,
Okay.
or it could be written, but it just you created it from scratch
moment.
In that moment.
Okay.
Like so.
Okay.
That's what I think a freestyle is, because freestyle is a very subjective like definition you could say in the hip hop community, because it gets argued, oh, if you ain't doing off the top of the head from scratch, then it ain't a freestyle. Or some people like you could write a freestyle, but now in this day and age, most people is not doing it
right.
off the head. But it is some people that doing that.
Right.
Like, so yeah, it's
Now,
just give and take.
Okay, so if somebody doesn't necessarily do it off of the dome, but they wrote a freestyle that, you know, didn't have no particular direction. They're just writing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they get called in to do a podcast and they're gonna freestyle. Is it okay for them to do that one that they've memorized for the last 6 months? Or should it be a fresh one? Should they write a fresh one? Should they recite off the dome a fresh one?
Like it gotta be how they feeling, you know.
Okay.
Like me, like I wouldn't have no problem if it's something you knew and memorized it for 6 months, because you don't want to go on the camera. You want to put out your best performance. So
Right,
you know,
right.
if you have to tap in those bags, like every rapper, every hip hop MC, whatever, they have bars they have memorized that they pull it out their back pocket whenever
Right.
they just spit it in the freestyle what they do. So if you do a mixture of it, like from time to time I do a mixture of it. Like I
Okay.
have certain type of bars I could just throw out the hat if it's something, you know, you don't want to stumble on a word, to gather up to where you could
Keep it moving.
keep it moving.
How do you
So,
feel about Game? Have you heard about
The Game?
where he
yeah.
he what is it? Yeah, red roses, white shoes, white forces. Like, is that acceptable? Is it acceptable to use the same freestyle for over 10 years?
No. Please don't do that. Change it up. You know, my opinion, you know, I would want to change it up. You want to do that.
Now look, just a couple more questions, man. This is the part where we gotta pay some bills. All right. Shout out to Thrax Pastry, our #1 sponsor, our OG sponsor. They got us in the game. They helped us put some skin in the game. Nothing for sale here, just a suggestion of where you can spend some time. Super easy question. What's your comfort food? You just got home from the studio, 12-hour session. Plex has been on your ass about a verse. You're home, you're good. What's that food that's gonna make you feel like my day is complete? Ain't nothing gonna make this any worse.
I say a good box of fruit snacks. I kill
Fruit
a,
snacks. Be
Yeah, I kill a whole box in a whole day. Like really, family pack. I don't know. Why.
Okay, are you single moms? Stay away from him.
Yeah, man.
Sorry, my
I
bad.
kill a box
My
of
bad,
fruit
baby.
snacks. I kill a box of fruit snacks. So yeah, that and marshmallows. You know,
Ooh, all right.
marshmallows.
All right.
Yeah, most definitely. That's a go-to.
Candy, you like them sweets, boy.
Yeah,
You
I got a sweet tooth,
tooth.
man. I got a sweet tooth, bro. Like I'm very like simple on everything. Like when it comes to food, like this is everything. I'm just very simple. I don't need much. Just
Okay.
something to get me through the time.
Now, this question comes from Bargain Hunter's Paradise. All right. Every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, first Friday weekends, you can go down there and catch them at the West Bottoms Market. With this, I really want to dive into the experience between being at a market, like an open air market where you can see a bunch of different vendors, versus the mall. Because the mall was an experience. That's a nostalgic experience, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Very
so
nostalgic.
we know what keeps us at the mall, the people, the places, the things, all the stuff going on, right? If you're at a market, an open air market, 15 different vendors, a lot of sounds, a lot of smells, 420 friendly, what's the thing that keeps you from leaving? What keeps you circulating around the space?
Really, I don't really be the one that just be circling around the mall just to be there.
Okay.
Like how back in the time when we was
Right.
younger, because
That
the
was
mall
the-
used to be the move. Like when you leave from school, you gonna catch one of your homies, you're gonna go out to the mall, you're gonna
Yep.
just hang out, just see the honeys and
Yep.
see who out there, you know. But now it's like I gotta only go to the mall to get what I'm gonna get, like buy some clothes or some food and get out. Cause you know, I don't
It's in and out.
it's in and out with me. But really I say at that time it was just the people, I'm guessing.
Okay.
There.
The network and the community,
network
the
and the
folk
community,
being
just-
there. Okay.
Just socializing.
I gotta be careful around here. I mess around, catch my southern accent back all of a sudden, man.
Man.
Now this last one, and you may be a little young because you're 24, right?
24.
All right, this last one comes from our sponsor, Sherry's Lounge. It's a cigar lounge right here in KC. Make sure you tap in and check them out. They're always open Monday through Friday, but the weekends, Fridays, they always got something going on: music, food, booze, most of all, cigars. But my question to you, and you may not be a cigar aficionado, what is it about cigars when you see them in the videos, you see them on TV? What is it about cigars that makes you think there's a sense of elegance and luxury?
Well, to me, it's cigars. I never smoked cigars, but just based on the knowledge, what I know or what I get from it, I feel like cigars is like a high status thing to do. Like it represents like luxury, you know, the lifestyle, the high life, you know.
Like,
so
I got money.
Because when you win something, what they do, they smoke
You
cigars.
see what I'm saying?
You
Yeah.
know, so
Like-
that's something celebratory. You know,
Yeah,
get you a nice,
exactly.
you know, wine or you know something, and
Okay,
smoke.
okay.
But I'm definitely gonna try to get in the future, you know, try to smoke cigars, go to cigar lounge and stuff. I gotta definitely check it out.
Yeah, I mean,
Definitely.
I feel like that's the space, the space. Yeah, I feel like that's the space where you can make some business deals. You know
Most
what
definitely.
I'm saying?
Most
Let's get
definitely.
rid of the golf course. Let's start making business deals on the basketball court
Facts.
and in the cigar lounge.
Facts.
You know what I'm
with
saying?
It. I'm with it.
All right, man. All right.
Putting you on
Now
game,
look,
man.
I got 2 questions for you. 2 more before we get out of here, man. I really appreciate your time.
Appreciate you, man.
Number 1, it's what we call the elevator pitch. So it's a little bit difficult. Actually, it's a little bit easier for you because you're on your debut project. What is a song off of your project? If someone just met you and you got 30 seconds to let them know who you are, what's the song that you would recommend for them to get to know Retro Jerzy?
I would tell them to play King of the Town.
That's a good one.
You listen to that opening song, you're gonna hear all you need
Yeah.
to hear. Like
King of the Town got a couple bars on it too. Like, I mean, the whole project has bars, but I remember, yeah, that one. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, all right, man. You was ready for that one. Okay, all right. So here's the last question. Here's the one that we always close with. Y'all know this was coming. When it's all said and done, when the project is done, they're done listening to it. Not done, but finished for the moment, because you're gonna go back to it, right? We like them streams, but when they finish listening to the project, when the show is over, what is it you want the folks to walk away with as far as a Retro Jerzy experience?
I want them to walk away with a sense of inspiration of being themselves, authentic, telling the truth, like being open, like just being you, and fine with the simple things. You find without the glitz and glamour, but you also have your vices as well. You
You ain't got no vices.
I have vices. I have vices. Everybody have vices.
We're gonna say
you
that
know?
for part 2. Hey,
It's a-
is there anything that you want Anything you want them to know? Anything you want them to be ready for? I know the project is out now, all platforms.
Well, I want them to be ready. I definitely just now recently got my physical CD copy of my album out, and it's online and it's on sale. So definitely cop that. And I also got a gift for you too. My man Plex, he could reach over there and grab it for you, man.
What?
You know, just for appreciation for you coming here on Sprinkle the Salt Podcast, man. I'm a big fan of your podcast.
Hey, man, I appreciate you coming through. What?
You go, man. You can check it out,
Hey.
man.
Oh, hey.
You know, I got to check out the original.
Y'all
check
see
it out,
what it is, man. I got the physical joints. Y'all know that.
Well, definitely.
Oh, wait a minute.
And I got some, some salt for you, some flavor for your
You know what I'm
podcast, so you can sprinkle some salt on your
straight
future
from the
podcasts,
Himalayas.
man. I gotta go over there, man. It got some mason jars for you, so that's a gift for you,
Sprinkle, man. Hey, man.
Definitely
Thank you
sprinkle some
so
salt on
much,
that,
bro.
man.
That's
Definitely,
love, man. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you having me, man.
Hey, I appreciate you coming through. Look, Bump Jonas here, and I just had a hell of a conversation with none other than
Retro Jerzy.
Sit Down and Syke, y'all. I appreciate you, and I thank you so much. As I always say, love yourself like you try to love the world. Do something to earn your place in the world this week, and just be some dope individuals. Y'all have a good one.
One love.
Peace. Hey, man. Wow.